Hey everybody, and welcome to this tutorial showing you how to create a discussion in PowerSchool Learning. Two ways to create discussions. One is through the Activities tab right here. We'll go to Activities, Discussions, and we will add a discussion. Same idea, we can straight from one of our pages also add a discussion by clicking on Add Content Block, Messages and Activities, and choosing Discussion. I tend to like to do it this way because I'm on the page where I'd like the discussion to appear for my students, and so that's where I'm going to do it. Discussions can be a valuable resource for allowing students to engage with one another and with the teacher asynchronously before class meetings. I think it's important to think thoughtfully and intentionally about the instructions and expectations for how you use discussions, but for now, I'm just going to show you how to even set one up at PowerSchool Learning at all. So let's explore. Let's create our discussion. Okay, let's give this a title. Maybe I'll just call it today's date, Thursday, May 28th, 2020. I'm going to not enter any rubrics or related standards for now. I invite you to explore those on your own. Here is an area where you can give a short description of the discussion, including any instructions or expectations from your students. You can include text, you can format it, you can include links, you can include pictures, files, YouTubes, whatever is going to help your students. Okay, what type of discussion would you like this to be? An all-class discussion where everyone is involved? A group discussion in which you take your class and you break it into small groups, maybe a class of 12 with 4, 4, and 4? Or are you going to create one-to-one discussions between you and each of your students individually? I invite you to experiment with all three of these, but for this example, I'm going to explore just a class discussion where the entire class participates. Okay, clicking on Next. A couple of things. When may students write posts? Maybe anytime? Or maybe you want to have this discussion exist for a finite amount of time. Maybe this is a homework assignment where students have just one night to do it, or 1 week to do it, or what have you. I'm going to have this discussion go from today, so the starting date is by default today, whenever that is, and I'll have it go for 1 week's time. You may choose to require students to post first before seeing other students post. For instance, if there's a reading and you need to make some observations, this way it is less likely that a student would see someone else's observation and just use it as their own. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Would you like to create a gradebook entry? Doing so would create a gradebook entry on your gradebook. I'm going to unclick this for now. A couple of things here. Block placement. Because I am creating this from the class information page, this discussion is going to show up on the class information page. If I had done this from the Activities tab, I would need to choose the page where this would appear. But for block placement, I'm going to do it at the top of column 1. Are there anything else? Oh, and if you like, you may upload a file from your computer or include an attachment for Google Drive for students to view. I'm going to go ahead and upload something from my computer and attach something from Google Drive just so when we look at this from the student perspective, there's something there that they can see and we can see what it would look like if we were a student here. Okay, so I have now chosen to include a Google document and a PDF. So now I'm going to click Save. All right, so here it is. Let's look at this from a student perspective. A great way to do that is within your class, you can click on Manage Class, View as Student. Okay, so here is a discussion. Oh, here are the attachments or Google Drive documents associated with it, and here is the discussion. I'm going to click on that discussion. There are no posts right now, so it's time to create a new post. Maybe you want to create a subject. Benji's response. I read the article and I thought it was great. Not very insightful, but it's a post. The student could attach something from Google Drive, and there is a setting in the class settings to allow student files. But I'm just going to post this as Benji's response. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to a student perspective. I'm going to reload that page, and it should have the discussion right there on top. Oh, there's a discussion. Ooh, and there's a new post. Interesting. So here, oh, interestingly, here I am as a student. I can't see the post because remember, we selected that students had to post something first. So this is test students response. I read the article and I didn't understand it. Okay, they're going to post this and now they can see all of the other posts. Oh, it looks like Benji Messinger Barnes did something. Oh, maybe I'll reply to Benji's. You thought it was great. What parts did you think were great? Submit reply. Or maybe I'm going to create a new post within this discussion. What was surprising to you? I'm interested to hear folks' thoughts. I'm not going to do this too long, but I want to show you a little bit of the nuances here. Interesting. Okay, going back to Benji the teacher, I'm refreshing this. I'm going to exit the student view and go back to the teacher view. And it looks like there are 3 new posts. Interesting. It shows you which student posted something and what. So it looks like this was a post started by Benji. Oh, but the test student responded to Benji's post. Here is a new post from the student. I really like the article. I didn't understand that. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, well, we could do this ad nauseum. So that was a short tutorial on how to create and use a class discussion on PowerSchool Learning. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you enjoyed.
One last note about discussions is you may want to enable students to add files to their discussion posts, perhaps PDFs or images or audio or movie or what have you to enrich the discussion. To do this, we're going to go over to Manage Class, and we're going to go to Class Settings, and we're going to go over here to the Discussion and Inbox area where you can click here to allow file uploads on discussion posts. You can also adjust for how long students can go back and edit their discussion posts, from not editing allowed at all or up to 1 day. Make sure to click Save, and we're all set.